Alright guys, in today's video I'm going to be deeply explaining on how to trade the Falcon strategy from scratch, either a beginner, intermediate or advanced. In this video you will get a sip of knowledge. So I'm going to be talking about the value areas. I'm going to be talking about the market direction. I'm also going to be talking about the lower time frame entries. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. So in this video I'm going to be explaining the strategy using these 4 pairs. So I'm going to be analyzing these pairs together from the daily time frame going down and explaining all the Falcon concepts you need to know in order for you to be a profitable trader. So let's get into it. So guys, this is GBPCAD and it's the daily time frame. As you can see, we're on the daily, right? So what I usually do when I'm starting to analyze from scratch, I usually look on the daily that do I have any value areas or inflation points that I visibly can see. So as you can see right here on the daily time frame, we can clearly see that, okay, first of all, we do have our daily high, right, which is the double top, right? So the trick here is just for you to firstly identify an area where you can see a double top that has happened or a double bottom that has happened. So in our scenario, it's going to be a double top, right? And then we can also now start identifying our lows. Okay, so we can see that it's clearly visible that, okay, we do have a low right here, which is this one, right? And then we don't end there. So we also look at the price action. How is the price action looking like? Where is the momentum on? So the momentum is on a downtrend. As you can see, the market has been selling for the longest of time, right? And then this is just areas of value that we need to take notice of, just in case anything happens, because we do not just enter trades just because we're at a low. No, we actually look at the price action. How did the price action react at this particular areas where we at? For example, man, we had our double top area right here, right? And then the price action started to go down. So what we usually do is that we wait first, right? We wait for the confirmation of the price action that, okay, is price going in line with the market direction? The market momentum is the momentum according to our value area. So then we got that, and then now we're at the bottom right there. Still, the market direction is still down, going down, because if you can look properly, there's a lot of areas where the market can reverse off. As you can see, there's also one down there. So with that, we can now start going to the 4-hour to look and see that, okay, fine, overall we can see the market direction is a sell, clean sell, regardless of these areas. So people shouldn't take these areas as the market is gonna go up because it is here. No, we do not end there. We first have to look, how did price react there? As you can see, when price reached these areas, because you saw that price was on an uptrend and there was a possibility that price could also continue going up, right? Because if you can go to the hard time frame, we can see that, okay, there are other highs, right? There are other highs on price action. As you can see, we do have this one right here, right? So still there can be a possibility that price continues going up. Why? Because the market is uptrending, right? And then we can still continue, but then for us not to be caught up in the bad side of the market, we have to wait and look at how price action is reacting there. So what happened here, guys? We can see clearly that, okay, price did form a momentum back to structure, which is clear indication that, okay, fine, now price action is what is selling. Now the sell momentum is on, right? And then you also have your inflation points. We usually use this just to manage our trades. Maybe let's say there's going to be a possibility to reverses, and then what we usually do is that we tend to lock profits aggressively just in case price reverses. It doesn't mean price will reverse, but then just in case, right? So with that we can see that, okay, fine, we do have momentum back to structure, right? And then what do we do next? So we then start looking for what? We then start looking for our entries, right? So you have your pattern right there. So this was just a typical 2-touch flag, right? And then you would be waiting for your push down or a flag or a risk entry, depending on the type of entries you usually take. And as you can see, majority of the time we usually wait for the price action to show its hand, and then you can make a decision on to selling the market. The market is usually going to go in our direction, but then yeah, there wasn't that much of an entry visible, right? So the market starts going down, and you can see that, okay, you have to look at the market. How is the market aggressively going down? It's momentously going down, right? So with that, we look at this inflation points. Okay, fine, we are here. There's a possibility we can counter trend this position back to the upside. I do not ignore that. There is still a possibility we can go up, but then how are we reacting there? We can clearly see that price is creating a continuation, a correction. So what does that mean? There's a possibility that price can still continue doing what? Can continue to go down, right? Because how is the nature of price? Price action moves like an impulse, correction, impulse, right? So we can see that, okay, fine, there's a lesser chance price action might do this and then go up. But then if it does eventually, what do I need? Because we need to be flexible when doing these things, guys. We need to be flexible with the price action. You do not need to marry a bias that even if you can see that, okay, fine, now there's a bullish momentum hitting up, now you're still looking for sales. No, if we see that, okay, price action is respecting our inflation point, there's a possibility of a counter trend. Wait for that impulse momentum, and then we can look for what? Our 1 hour flags. Because what I usually do is that I usually counter trend a 1 hour flag. When I'm counter trending, I usually look for the 1 hour flag because it usually carries most weights, right? So if something like this now happens, now then I can change my bias, and then I would be respecting this inflation point. But at the moment, there's nothing to respect, because we can see that, okay, price is creating a correction. And as you can see right here, I was waiting for price action to reach this level right here. This is just a push down and a hook point, so that means there was a level of liquidity there, and then we went down. And then what happened? We started going up again. We grabbed the volume from here, right? Remember, daily momentum is still selling, and then what are we having now? A push down. So that is very good, right? So we're having a nice push down. And for me, what I'm gonna do in this type of a continuation, I'm going to be waiting for what? I'm going to be waiting for a 1 hour flag. Given I'm not that much convinced that, okay, this is a high quality structure, that is why I'm going to be looking for what? I'm going to be looking for my 1 hour. Some of you all may look for a 15. There's no problem, it's still fine. You can take a 15. Even I could still consider taking a 15, because look at how beautiful the structure is. We have a 1, we have a 2, we have a 3 intersecting with the hook point. So look at the momentum. We're getting a very nice bearish momentum right here. So at this area, we can still look for 15s, right? Because you should also use this, guys. You should also use the traffic lights. You see, in these zones, I can still continue looking for 15, right? But I should make sure that it is a high quality 15, in the sense that we are going to be like in the green zone, and there's a nice momentum. I can take it there. But as price continues to go down, the 15-minute flags usually become high risky or less probable for them to play out, because we're now at the amber zone, right? So in this scenario, I have my momentum to the downside, right? I can go to the 15, and then you can start scanning, right? You can start scanning for those nice structured 15s if they appear, and then you can enter your source, right? So you see how important it is to look at how price action is reacting off of a value area or inflation point. You don't just buy like, okay, we're in a value area, we're looking for buys. Just imagine the price action was on these lows right here, right? The price action was on these lows, yeah, and then when as an individual, now you are looking for buys. You're not even assessing the situation that, okay, fine, we are at this, but then how is price action reacting on that situation? That is very key, guys. Please keep that in mind. Whenever price action is on an inflation point or a value area, look at how the price action is reacting there first before you can make your decision. So you don't just get to know market direction out of a value area. No, you have to look for the value area, yes, also look at the character of price. How is price action reacting in that particular area? And then look at the before price. You can see that before the price action was another downtrend. And what are we getting? A continuation pattern. And with Falcon strategy, we understand that, okay, if we do get a push down, right, and then we do have a continuation, what is going to be next? A push down. Simple as that, guys. Simple as that. And these are the type of price actions you should trade so that you can be consistently profitable, because this is usually the simple price. There is much less probability that this one cannot play out as we're predicting, right? There's a much less probability that's given. If we do get our entry, we're going to be inside and we're going to be happy. We're going to be taking our trade, is it? So yeah, that is how I usually analyze the price action on the daily to the 1 hour, right? I usually look at those characteristics in the price action, and I usually use these characteristics on all of the pairs, because I'm gonna show you on the rest of the 3 pairs that, okay, this is how we're gonna be doing it. We have, so let's go to the second one right now. So this is going to be CHFJPY. Let's go to the daily time frame and see what's going on. All right, okay, so let's analyze everything right here. So we can say that, okay, we did have a momentum to the downside. We are creating a bit of a range, but then we do trade ranges in Falcon, right? Price action reversed there. So okay, what do I do now? So what caused price action to react there? I can clearly see that, okay, fine, there was an inflation point right there, right? And then what happened? Price action started slow, right? We was reacting on like this, created a continuation right there, but then didn't commit, right? Because regardless of it being here, you have to still like be patient and wait and see, okay, what is price action giving us first. Here it was giving us a continuation, right? What was giving us a continuation right there. Did it play out? It didn't. So yeah, so it did give us that, and then eventually started to go down, and then we had our inflation points right there, right, which we just broke impulsively, right? So we can see that, okay, price action is now like respecting this inflation point, and it's giving in with the bearish momentum, right? So we can now remove this because it's not that much of importance right now. So we had that, right? So from that, I usually look for my lowest lows, which is going to be that, just that one, right? And then what happened here? Price action started to go down, right? And then it did again come back. Why did it come back? With this inflation point right there, right? It doesn't mean we were buying like what can I say, like full time, but it was just the counter trend position. So if you do take counter trends, this was a very good one. So because we see how is price action reacting out of this counter trend, it is not giving us a correction, but it's giving us an impulse to the upside, right? So the first correction was here, we do have an impulse, right? So we can now change our views. Okay, it's fine, the counter trend is on, we can do something, right? And then we can come here and then we can scan for our entries. Just that here we didn't get that much entries, but then someone might say, okay, fine, there was 2 touch right there, right? And then yeah, this would be someone's typical entry right there, right? But then with me, I wouldn't have, because first of all, we have this inflation points right there, right? So it is usually risky to be taking a 2 touch when there's inflation points clear, because there's a high chance it can still go down. At least wait for a 3 touch. So these are simple rules that I usually explain on my mentorship, and if you're interested in my mentorship, you can just DM me on WhatsApp. I'm gonna pop my number here, or you can also email me. My email is going to be in the video's description. You can just gonna see it there, right? So yeah, man, so that's that. And then we usually look for our entries going up, and then we did break, and then we started to go up, but then in that particular scenario there was no entry. But then we're not there. I'm just like making you get used to what we're doing, the price action and stuff. It did go up, and then what happened? We can see that, okay, price action did go down, and then we have to look, okay, fine, why did price react there? We can clearly see that, okay, fine, we had this 4 hour inflation points right there, right? We did respect it there, and then we have to wait first. We cannot just say we're selling, no, because look what happened here. This was like price action was correcting. If you did take an immediate sell, price action wasn't here there with the momentum sell, right? It did just start to play around, and then it started with the momentum sell, right? And then we broke these areas, and then now we're trading a momentum sell, and which there we got our first entry. Let me go and show you on the lower time frames. So yeah, we usually wait, as I said, right? We usually wait and see the change of character in price. See, the correction is done. We've got a momentum right now, right? And then this is a typical V-shape. I think if you do take V-shape entries, this was a very nice one right there. So that was a V-shape, and then you would have taken your entries maybe at the second red candle, because you would see that, okay, fine, I usually like to get a retrace, but then if I don't get a retrace, I usually wait for 2 bearish candlesticks, and then I usually enter my price action. And as you can see right there, with you trading the inflection points of value areas together with what the market momentum, the market direction, the market trend, you usually give yourself a higher chance of making profits into the forex market, right? As you can see, the bearish momentum was on. What do we get? A V-shape, and then what do we get? Nice profit. So this was the maximum 5% profit trade, right? So yeah, we're still continuing analyzing. It does do its thing, it does go back up, and then it does continue going down, right? As I said, now we do have another inflation point right there. All right, but then what's the market trend? Where is the market trending? If you can look at the price action here, like where is the market trending? To the downside. So what are we doing? We're still maximizing on sales regardless of us being in inflation points, right? And this is a 1 hour inflation point, and I wouldn't counter trend this small thing. This one, nah, I'll just leave it for what it is. But then yeah, I'm still looking at the sales because the market trend is still trending down, right? Good. So we know our market trend is to the downside. We are trading off of inflation points, and then we have this. What is this, guys? We came from what, an impasse, and then we did give what, a continuation. So what's the highest probability for a sell? It's high, so we're going to be waiting for what, selling opportunities, right? So what's the first area I can look for sales opportunity? It is going to be there, right? Let me just remove this one because I don't need it. So that's that, guys. We have that, and then I can have my small base right there, right? It's not that much of a base. Let me just remove that. So we have this. So what I'm going to be waiting for here, going to be waiting for price to come to these levels, right? And then give me a push down, and then it will depend if I'm taking a 15 or a 1 hour, depending on what, depending on my traffic lights, right? I'm going to be using the traffic lights. So at these areas, it is going to be good in taking a 15, but keep it in mind that if you are taking a 15-minute flag, you have to make sure that there is a market momentum, right? There's going to be a market momentum impasse. You do not just take a 15-minute flag out of nowhere, guys. You don't do that to yourself. You first wait. If you have a momentum, you then take the 15. But if there's no market momentum, like an impulse, you can just stick onto the 1 hour flags. And if we also reach these amber zones, I don't think that you can be now looking for 15-minute flags at an amber zone, right? And then once we reach the red zone, that one is usually clear that, okay, fine, we're not taking any entries out of this zone because already the market is done, right? It is like, it would have like made like its move, and it's usually like at the 90% there. So trades there, they don't usually play out that much. And what do we want? We want to be consistently profitable. So what do? We take entries either at the green zone or at the amber zone. That's it. Once the price action reaches, it is usually late for you to be taking entry there. What I do is that I at least wait for the price to break, and then I wait for my 1 hour flag there, right? And then I continue selling, right? Because I've broken these lows, right? I've cleared the risk that it's there, right? So with that said, let's go to EURJPY and analyze again using the same concepts, right? As you can see, guys, you see the concepts that I'm using. It's not usually the Falcon concepts you are used to, in the sense that, yeah, what you usually know, but then this is now 2025. You have to like trade in line with the market direction, the market trend, in conjunction with what, with your value areas. So you need all of those three confluences or concepts in order for you to come up with a high quality trade. So let's see EURJPY. You can see that EURJPY momentum is selling, and this is a very big continuation to the downside. So you can clearly see with the market trend, the market is going to go down, right? But then it's just a very big outlook, so we just have to now go small, right? So here we see that, okay, we do have our inflation point that was there, right, in the past. That what happened, price action broke, right, and then it started to come back down with the momentum, which is very good. So with that day, I'm just going to use this as my lowest just, right? So price did eventually go down, right? Nice momentum, and then fine, that's good. And then if you can look at the 4-hour, price action did what, do a reversal right here. So if there were opportunities of a counter trend, I would have entered, but then there wasn't there, because you can see price action did come up back. Did we have an entry on the 1 hour? You have to look at that. Nah, we didn't. The price action wasn't that much welcoming in the first place, so I wouldn't have entered anything there, right? And then counter trend, it was not a good one, I don't want to lie. So there was no entry. We do not force something where we see that there is nothing, right? But then price action did go up, right? Still we know that, okay, in a nutshell, we're just looking for sales. Price action didn't just reverse out of nowhere. There was an inflation point right there that we did respect. How did we respect this one? Look at the beautiful momentum to the downside. So we now know that, okay, fine, we have that the market is still going down regardless, right? And then it did go up again. It took out this one and it started to go back down, right? Overall, what's happening here, the market is trending where? The market is trending down, right? We do have our inflation points where there's a possibilities of what, of us counter trending to the upside, right? Okay, where there's a possibility of price action counter trending to the upside. But then we're not going to be saying, because it's here, we're buying. No, we don't do that. We have to wait and see what is here. Momentum is to the downside, right? If there's a shift in change of momentum, now I can change my thesis on, right? I'm now looking for the buys, but then no, I'm not going to be changing yet. So what are we having right now? So right now we have this inflation point right there. As you can see, price is just correcting right here. It's just creating a V shape. Just because this V shape is not that much structured, what I do here in scenarios like this, I usually like taking the 1 hour flex. Just wait for the push down and then wait for my continuation there, and then I take it to the downside. Simple as that, guys. So that's going to be what, V shape, and then push down in the correction. Okay, so that's gonna be that. So that is what I'm just looking at off of this area, right? I'm not gonna be buying, I'm still looking for my sales regardless. So that's that. And then if it happens, price action wants to go up, I need a momentum shift. Now I can look for my 1 hour flex, and then that's where I change my thesis. It's okay, fine, this one is like being respected, but now it's nothing, dog. This is not a e-pass, it's just a pullback to this inflation point where I can still look for more further sales to the what, to the downside. Use it here. And then the last one is going to be GBPJPY. So what do we have on GBPJPY at the high time frame? Momentum to the downside, the pullback, correction, good. Still I'm looking for sales. Why? Let's go to this. We have our inflation points right there, right? And then we also do have our lowest low at the bottom, right? So we do have our lowest low at the bottom. Okay, and then we can say that, okay, fine, price here did want to counter trend, and then we have to check first, how is price action reacting with the counter trend? We did get a momentum, right? Do have a 4 hour momentum. Let's go to the 1 hour and see that, was this position eligible for a counter trend in it? So momentum is there, but then the problem is, now you see we have this risk that there's an inflation point right there, and then yeah, so now no end, because this is just the 2 touch and the 3 touch was in there. So counter trend opportunities, nah, just gonna leave them alone if they were there, right? The price action decides to what, go back up, and then we would still look for counter trending opportunities if they did appear at those higher time frame. So right here in J, there was a bit of correction. Let's see on the 1 hour, what do we have on the counter trend? Do we have a 1 2 3 touch that we can capitalize on? If not, we just look for other trades. No, we don't. Here it would be very nice if maybe there was a first touch there, second touch, and third touch, like that, right? Let's see on the 15 if there was any first touch there, because sometimes the 15-minute usually has these first touches, right? And then you find yourself getting a nice trade. As you can see right here it was there, but then it was just argumentative because it's not that much clear. So taking unclear trades, and it's another thing you shouldn't do, because you'll find yourself into an unnecessary problem, right? So yeah, man, with that, we could have, but hey, this one to me was a bit subjective. It doesn't carry me that much momentum that I want, that correction there. But then this was a clear 1 2 3. So this could be what's a possible continuation entry on the 1 hour, which was a 3 touch, right? And then here we'll come here, wait for your entries, and then I would have entered there, right? My entry would have been there, and then stop loss there. It was a nice position, I don't want to lie, given. But the thing is, the first touch, it's me, if I feel like, no, like things are not that much clear, I don't usually take the trade, right? So but then this was a possible trade out of considered taking, right? So yeah, man, so this was a beautiful trade. So it was a counter trend position. That is why I say usually wait for the market to give you its hand, right? Because you can see that, okay, did start small, but then now it's very far for you not to consider that, okay, fine, price action is really counter trending, and you should just wait for a bigger continuation. This was a 1 hour flag, and then yeah, the 1 hour structure. So, and it was very good at those levels because it did make sense. It's very big, and yeah, it's in line with the price, and yeah, that was a very nice one, man. So we move. We're not there yet. I'm just showing you the kind of opportunities we usually wait for. Yeah, so right, price action counter trended to the upside. That is why it's a counter trend, because it didn't commit to go up. What happened here, we came back to price action to take these inflation points, and then we started to go down, right? So what is happening now, we can see that the market is on a momentum sell, right? So there's no reason for you to be buying now. But then here, it's just, this one is just clear, there's nothing hindering this trade. So what I usually do right now in this position, right, what I do is that, because I can see this is why you're having here, so I'm just gonna put that one at the edge, right? So what I'm expecting is for price to come there, like so, give me the push down, and then the correction, and then we go down. Simple as that. Wait for your 1 hour flag, 15, anything regarding, you have to make sure you put this and make sure which levels you are trading, and then yeah, so I'm just going to be patiently waiting for the price action to come reach there, and then there I'm going to be looking for my entries. So yes, so right now we're just going to be waiting, seeing what the market has for us today, and then I'm going to be trading accordingly. So guys, with that said, I'm going to see you on the next episode of how to trade the Falcon strategy step by step, and it's going to be solely focused on the entries. So please like, subscribe, and also leave a comment. Thanks guys, see you in my next video.